Hello and welcome to Lunch Break Reviews. This is a podcast about the things you love and the voices that do and don't. Each episode I will travel the realms of awesomeness and take a look at the best good and bad reviews I can find based on title alone on this week's current movies. I'll look at the past week's top box office and the movie releases for the upcoming week. I'll even give you my thoughts as well, all in under 30 minutes. I'm sure we'll even get into TV and comics from time to time. I am the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin, and this is Lunch Break Reviews with the new episodes at least every Sunday. Today we have Joker, Follie, Deux, I think that's how you say it, versus White Bird. All right, so let's talk a little bit about last week. Last weekend, I guess it would be the Wild Robot came in on top. Then it was Beetlejuice, Transformers 1, Devara Part 1, and Speak No Evil. Those are the tops. Now this week, the big movies are Joker, Monster Summer, and White Bird. Let's start talking about the info on Joker, Follie, Deux. This was released on October 4th of 2024. As of right now, when I'm recording this on the 6th of October of 2024, the IMDb is at a 5.3 out of 10 and currently with 41,000 reviews. Rotten Tomato is sitting at a 33% on the tomato meter and a 30% on the popcorn meter. What could have gone wrong, you ask? Well, we will find out. IMDb, the synopsis says, author Arthur Fleck is an institutionalized at Arkham, awaiting trial for his crimes as Joker. While struggling with his dual identity, Arthur not only stumbles upon true love, but also finds the music that's always been inside him. The main cast on this is directed by Todd Phillips. It was written by Scott Silver and Todd Phillips. It stars Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga, Brendan Gleeson, Catherine Keener, and Zazie Beetz. The critics from Rotten Tomatoes are saying the critics say anyway. It says this: Joaquin Phoenix's eponymous Joker takes a stand in a sequel that dances around while the story remains still. Although Lady Gaga's wildcard energy gives Follie, Deux some verve. Right on. I agree with that. The audience say from Rotten Tomatoes, a broken Joker in his lady's voice provide Follie, Deux with enough kindling to keep a tepid fire burning for the clown Prince of Crime. Sarah Michelle Fetters from MovieFreak.com says this: the jokes may still fall flat, but that doesn't mean the punchline does not land. And if you're a comics fan, you know what she did there. Stephanie Malone from Morbidly Beautiful says this: to dismiss the film for not meeting expectations is to miss its point entirely. It's precisely the subverting these expectations that Joker 2 achieves its most profound impact, asking us to examine not just what we want from our art, but why we want it. All right, and with that, here's my disclosure. I base the reviews I choose solely on title alone and have not read through them. Please forgive me if I mispronunciate words. I normally no talk good. I will try my best to read them as I see it. Punctuation good, bad, and all. So let's find out what people are saying about Joker, Follie, Deux. All right, we are going to start with some bad reviews. All right, and this is a 1 out of 10, and this was put on IMDb on the 30th of September of 2024, and it is titled, What Was That? This was a monumental, brightly burning dumpster fire. If you're a fan of the first one, don't waste your time. It lost the entire spirit and message of the first one. Yeah, I don't know about that, but The first hour was next to pointless and felt like a long, strung out snooze fest. The second half had a spark of something acceptable, but that dumpster quickly caught fire again and led to one of the worst endings imaginable. Cutting the awful music would have saved 45 minutes of the movie. If the goal was to make a bad movie, it would win Film of the Year, and I swear I gave it to the last frame to be good, but it just fell flat on its face. I'm going to pretend it was never made and that I didn't waste 2 hours of my life on this. If you actually want to watch this, wait until it's free. If I were to say one thing positive, it did have one good song and sequence to accompany it. Every deck has a Joker, and that Joker is me. Moral of the story is, I'm never going to watch this again. Okay, I hear you, man. Okay, let's keep going on the bad reviews. I got another one. This is another 1 out of 10, and it was put on IMDb on October 3rd, and it is called Todd Phillips' Final Joke, Spit in the Fans' Faces. Joker, Follie, Deux, or just Joker 2 for normal people, is a completely unneeded sequel that got made by Todd Phillips. He decided to shred the spit on the original praised movie to cut himself away from the toxicity of Joker. Joker in this movie goes back to miserable Arthur Fleck, who is emasculated, ridiculed, and humiliated for most of the movie. He has no agency in his movie. He is just there as the events take place around him. And when he finally gets his moment, it just ends with one of the dumbest decisions he could have made. The ending is the ultimate end to the Joker franchise by Todd Phillips. Like he wanted to make a statement about his first movie, and to be perfectly sure, nobody in WB will ever ask him to make another. Movie is a boring slog with no story, no character development, musical scenes being just there out of nowhere. Just because we have Lady Gaga on screen, who is a good actress, by the way, but almost everything involving Gaga is a musical, and she gets no way to actually act. Todd Phillips already showed us that he is bad at sequels with the Hangover movies, but still there are some enjoyment to be had with 2 and 3, and especially with 2. This is an insult to the fans, to the Joker, and to the cast who tried their best with the crappy material they were given, especially Leigh Gill as Little Gary, whose scene is probably the only good scene in the entire movie. All right, with that, let's move on to some good reviews, shall we? 10 out of 10, and this was put on here on the 4th of October. I get why, in his title, this. I get why this movie gets bad reviews. It's because it's different. Good. I have seen a lot of people's bad reviews, and I get why typical comic Marvel fans don't like this movie. For people who like more cookie-cutter plots and familiar storylines, this movie will disappoint. I, however, loved it. This is good art. Every scene is masterfully shot, and the theme in the movie plays deeply on emotions. Acting is just fantastic. I cried, I laughed, and sat with an open jaw, just amazed by how the movie is filmed, how every scene was so beautifully put together. I generally don't like musicals, but in this movie, it just works. For people more mentally orientated, worrying about how this movie connects to other DC movies and want to feel the same generic and familiar theme as most other comic movies, this is not for you. The emotional story is the part of the movie's genius, filled with deeply empathy, love, sadness, vulnerability, and joy. Yeah, I'm going to push back a little bit of that, but we'll get to my thoughts soon. Here's another good review. And this is a 10 out of 10 from the 4th of October, and it's called An Intense and Bold Exploration of Madness in a Post-Pandemic World Where Box Office Bombs have become so common and movies based on comic books are in steep decline with audiences, making a musical and, in a way, a courtroom drama is the in the acclaimed Joker universe seems like a bold decision, and long live boldness. Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga shine. Period. The madness of their characters is so well portrayed that it is sometimes painful and sad to watch. The musical numbers, as perfect as they are uncomfortable, are always overshadowed by the pains of mental illness. Marginalization and self-hatred. Joker, Follie, Deux is proof that cinema can still surprise, disturb, and dare. Rating 10 out of 10. All right. We'll get into my thoughts here shortly. I want to get into Whitebird. You know what? Actually, here's some thoughts on Joker. It was okay. It was just okay. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm in the middle. Let's see. The reviews really didn't do much, but we'll see at the end and where we will put everything. Here is Whitebird. This is also released on 10/4. As of right now, IMDb has it at a 7.2 out of 10 with over 2,000 reviews. Rotten Tomato has it at 73% on the tomato meter and 98% on the popcorn meter. IMDb says this about the movie. Here's its synopsis. Struggling to fit in at his new school after being expelled for his treatment of Augie Pullman, Julian is visited by his grandmother and is transformed by the story of her attempts to escape Nazi-occupied France during World War II. And the main cast in here is directed by Mark Forster, written by Mark Baumbach and R.J. Palacio. Main stars Bryce Gassiar, Priya Gotain, Tegan Booth, and Helen Mirren. Sorry for mispronouncing your names. The critics say from Rotten Tomatoes is packaging difficult subject matter into a digestible morality tale. Whitebird is a soft, pedaled, but ultimately moving drama fit for the whole family. Alonso Duralde, let's go with Duralde. The film verdict. Forster and screenwriter Mark Baumbach marry the handsome production to directorial and script choices that, for all their attempted restraint, lean toward the obvious, the blatant, and the sentimental. Christian Zyko from IndieWire says this. With elegant acting from its two young leads and picturesque cinematography from Matthias Koenigsweiger, it serves as a completely executed morality play for audiences craving a bit of ambiguous humanism. And remember, I base my reviews I choose solely on title alone and have not read through them. Please forgive me if I mispronunciate words. I normally no talk good. I'll do my best to read them as I see it, punctuation good, bad, and all. So let's find out what people are saying about Whitebird. Now, I could not find a 1-star review at this time. I could not find a 2-star review or a 3-star review. The lowest rating that I could find is a 4-star, and here it is. It was done on the 30th of September, 2024. Whitebird is a whitewash. Whitebird feels a bit like a glossed over version of history. If you didn't know much about the real events, you might leave thinking the average German was just as much of a victim of the Nazis as the Jews. And let's not even get started on the portrayal of the brave priest. That said, for the target audience, mostly junior high students, this coming-of-age story about a girl in Nazi-occupied France is a decent enough. At least it's better to have an oversimplified view of Nazism than to ignore or rewrite history, which seems to be what too many people prefer nowadays. One hopes the graphic novel this film is based on did a better job, though. All right, fair enough. Let's do another good review. This is a 10 out of 10 and dated on the 29th of September, and is called Light in the Darkness, a film about the human spirit and how it offers us hope in times of darkness, and kindness is the key that opens the door to hope. It takes courage to be kind, because when kindness can cost you your life, it becomes like a miracle. A film about the human spirit and how it offers us hope in times of darkness, and kindness is the key that opens the door of hope. It takes courage to be kind, because when kindness can cost you your life, it becomes like a miracle. You forget, okay, they're just redoing everything. Cool. Well, let's keep going. Another good review. This one is a 10 out of 10 from 30 September 2024 and is titled, This Magical Film Demonstrates the Power to Dream, to Laugh, and to Enjoy the Presence of Others. All right, this is a little bit long, so let's get going. Woo! The magical film Whitebird demonstrates the power to dream, to laugh, and to enjoy the presence of others despite the evil acts of some. From the world of wonder and Academy Award-winning director Mark Forster comes the sequential film Whitebird, which takes us a step further into the life of Julian, Bryce Geyser, who must finally face the consequence of his past actions, particularly the bullying of Augie Pullman, a 10-year-old boy born with facial differences, expelled from school as a result of his unkind acts towards others. Julian gets a taste of his own medicine as he is alienated and challenged to make friends at his new school. His grandmother, Sarah Blum, Helen Mirren, pays him a visit with hopes of sharing her haunting and deeply moving story about her survival in Nazi-occupied France during one of the darkest moments in history. Intrinsically narrated, Whitebird gives us two stories, one about Julian's present-day struggles and the other a stirring tale of his grandmother's harsh struggles during World War II. Flashbacks of young Sarah, Ariella Glasser, and her courageous classmate Julian, Orlando Schwert, demonstrate for viewers how traumatic life was being a Jew during Nazi-run territories. Their relationship is more than one of survival. It is one of kindness, love, and sacrifice. What I love most about Whitebird is the visualization of young Sarah Bloom's life and how her story had a purpose. I connected with her story emotionally as it teaches her grandson the valuable lesson of showing kindness. The stories of two troubled teens, young Sarah and her grandson Julian, are well channeled and they flow with ease. Although both stories contain heartache, they both end in hope. This film is a masterpiece filled with a nice balance of warmth and wisdom. The historic drama combined with the modern coming-of-age scenes add a special touch to Whitebird and keep me engaged throughout the entire film. A box of tissues nearby is a must while watching this film. Whitebird has many teachable moments and contains many life lessons. This is a must-see family film. This film's message rings loud and clear. It's a message of kindness and how kindness must be shared and practiced. Hate surrounds us. That's a fact of life. However, the smallest gestures of goodwill can lead to the greatest change. This film is also about bravery, as that is what follows us to take risks and speak up for those who don't have a voice. It takes a lot of courage sometimes to be kind. I will give Whitebird 5 out of 5 stars and recommend it for ages 8 to 18 plus adults. Whitebird opens in theaters October 4th, 2024. Be sure to check it out. You're not going to want to miss this one. Kids first. Okay, well done. Here's my theater experience this week. I went and watched Joker Follie, Deux, and I wish I would have went and watched Whitebird. I'm a huge DC fan. I'm a huge nerd, a huge Star Wars fan. So I had to do Joker. And I watch most of my movies in B&B theaters in Ankeny. I work there. And free is better than paying for movies. And so it was fun. I liked my company. That was about it. I went with my wife, my brother-in-law, and my kids. And my dad. So it was a good time to experience Joker. My experience is probably better than my thoughts on the movie. So my thought was Joker, Follie, Deux. Here we go. It was just mediocre. I don't feel I got anything out of it. If you're trying to make a piece of art and you're spending millions and you want to make millions, there's got to be in it for something, or at least everybody's got to be able to get it. And if I missed it, and I know a lot about the Joker, and I know a lot about Batman, I know a lot about that world, I think your normal person did too, unless you're making a Joker that has nothing to do with that, which maybe you are, but then you kind of fail because that's your audience, right? My rating is I'm gonna say my IMDb would be a 5.5 or a 6. I would give it a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes as well. That's it. I'm gonna go see Whitebird sometime this week. So there it is. My favorite actor of the week is Gaga. She was good in it. She was fantastic in it. She's the best part of it. My least favorite actor of the week was Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. All the parts that he was Joker didn't matter because they were in his head. Spoiler alert. Except for like one. So, sorry, man. Gaga was the show stealer of the week. And Whitebird beats Joker 7.2 over his 5.2 or, I didn't write it down. What is it? He was, Joker is, 5.3 out of 10. So, 73, and they were 73% and 98% audience score for Whitebird. Now, the my personal top 5 for the week is Yellow Jackets hit Netflix, and I've been checking that out. Vox Machina came back. I'm caught up on that. DC All In special came out. I need to figure out some way to get that out a little bit more. Bad Blood, WWE Bad Blood is in there, and Absolute Power number 4. So Absolute Power number 4 wraps up, and DC All In. And I read that out of order. My bad. Movie releases for this coming up week. October 11th is Terrifier 3 Saturday night, and The Apprentice. I am pretty sure I'm going to see Terrifier 3, and I'm going to try to see Saturday night as well. All right, it is up to you to decide on Joker and Whitebird. Where will you rank the movie? What movie are you gonna watch? What was your favorite movie of the week, even if it wasn't one that I listed or one that came out this week? If you want to find me from me or follow me, you can do that at Facebook at Nerd Positive. You're gonna easiest to get me there. YouTube at Nerd Positive 1, TikTok at Nerd Positive 1, TikTok at movies.bs, and Instagram at Fandemic1. If you feel there's more of a conversation, feel free to reach out and let's talk. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next guest on Nerd Positive. If you want to support the show, there are several ways to do so. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/nerdpositive or patreon.com/nerdpositive, PayPal or Venmo at Bradley Butin. I'm not going to say no. Most importantly, share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review. All right, and Joker, Follie, Adieu, and Whitebird. You just got Lunch Break reviewed at 22.30 minutes, 22 and a half minutes.